Todas las ciudades tienen secretos.
Vete a Midnight, dijiste. Buena gente.
I've met Nestor in the past, and he's just a class act and so talented and just really just smart and intuitive. So he's very collaborative, and we're just thrilled to be able to work with him again.
And he's in the genre already.
Yes, he is. Yes, he
bringing
is.
a nice little
Yes, he is.
fan base.
Indeed.
Yeah, very good.
Indeed.
So with approaching season 2, how are you going to kind of shift the tone to make it different from season 1?
It's a lot sexier.
Okay.
Nobody is wearing clothing.
Oh, it's also summer and midnight. I mean,
Yeah.
season 1 we shot in the middle of winter in Albuquerque, so a lot less clothes. People are sweatier. People want to do dirty things when they're sweaty and hot, so we're owning that. It's soapier, it's more salacious, it's scarier. You know, we're really embracing kind of like Charlaine Harris's sweet spot. Like True Blood was like was the perfect template for what the tone of the show should be, and that's what we're doing this season.
Excited.
How the characters are going to evolve in this season?
Yes. Yeah, I mean,
just beyond the Asridia.
yeah. I think one thing that was really interesting about season 1 is we just got a glimpse of characters' backstories, so we'll continue to dig deeper into characters' backstories, see flashbacks. Everybody is kind of coupled off this season, so they're growing and evolving and kind of morphing from individuals to couples, and we'll witness firsthand kind of what the growing pains are for that evolution.
Well said.
Well, okay. So this is your first time at Comic-Con with this show, right?
With this show.
And you've been here before. What other shows?
Ringer, Supernatural.
The list goes up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, if no one has any questions, I hate to take over. Okay. This particular, let's call it a genre, right?
Yeah.
With the vampire and the
Were-Tiger,
supernatural,
witch,
right?
ghost.
So I hate to mention Twilight, but and even Anne Rice and that, you know, it was a very small audience, and then suddenly it has just found like a momentum, right? So when a show has all of this behind it or preceded it, and you have to kind of satisfy the fan base, where do you get the material to do that? So is this why we're going into a more salacious season 2? Twilight type thing?
What? No, we wanted, the powers that be said, let's have more fun and go crazier and sexier and scarier, and we got really excited. We're huge fans of True Blood, which was so, as Eric said, the perfect tone for this, sexy, a little campy, scary, had great jump scare moments. And, when we gathered a great writing staff, we just started riffing, using that tone as our guide, and the stories were endless. And I like the comparison to Anne Rice. That's what I grew up on, and Twilight.
Which that just got set up.
Yeah, it did. They just announced it. I think it's Hulu.
Hulu,
and they're going to do a series.
Very fun.
I love those books.
Sorry. What about these shows, the supernatural shows, keeps bringing you back?
Yeah. I mean, sorry.
I was just, they're always metaphors for something, and I think genre shows in particular are about people being marginalized and ostracized and persecuted for being different. So that speaks to all of us, regardless of who you are and what cross you bear in life, everyone to a certain extent has been marginalized for something. So it deals with these universal themes that a lot of people flock to, and that's what brings us back to writing genres.
So we're just going to dive right in.
All right.
So, yes, we all just got the emails about the new cast members. Yeah.
Yeah.
Seasoned and bringing the fan base. So
that, and I think that there's more than you know, and more I can say. It's going to be an exciting season. Lots coming in.
Yeah. I think we're all surprised that we've heard quite a bit that we did not expect already from the showrunners and from Francois. So
What's Francois giving away?
Well, that we're just going to see a lot more of you, maybe?
Yeah, absolutely.
As in,
I mean, as in they are saying less clothing. For all
Well, apparently clothings restrict those wings. So, yeah.
I mean, we see a lot, so we're going to see a lot more.
Yeah, we are. This is how do they say it? Sexy, gritty, dirty.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's coming on.
And you're ready.
Yeah, this is going to be a much more visceral season even than the first season, and I think the story and the character development is strong. So I'm excited about season 2. I love season 1, and season 2 is just kicking some ass already.
So what's something that you would actually like to see for your character this season? What's the ideal scenario or character growth that you would want?
Well, Joe's spent a lot of time hiding a secret and hiding from the world, and I'm already getting to explore it. Because Bowie's gone, and he's no longer, his main purpose is not avoiding destruction and staying out of things. He's going to have to figure out what is his place in the world. He is now having to take an active participation not only in the town but in who he's going to be.
So in this show, comparing with True Blood, because the writer, in True Blood, all the things start with vampires and just like that. But in Midnight Texas, we start full supernatural.
Yeah, I mean, it's a different world than True Blood altogether.
Yeah.
Charlaine made she's got an imagination.
Yeah.
An amazing imagination. She's introduced some of the coolest supernatural ideas ever. And it's one of the things I like actually about Midnight a lot. Instead of being a singularity, it invites the idea of individualism and individualism being awesome. Much in the way the power. I love that witch. Isn't she a beauty? Yeah, love you, Parisa. So I really love the idea of Midnight. I loved stories like that, whether it was the Goonies or it was the X-Men growing up, where you can feel like you belong even if you don't necessarily fit the norm. I know I kind of look like a guy who fits the norm. I never did. I always felt like a kid. I hid in movie theaters and libraries growing up, and so story was a safe place for me. Going up a tree or on top of the roof and disappearing in a book, whether it was like Sword of Shannara or Tolkien or something. That was my safe haven, and I love that this story gives that to me.
So this is your world.
Oh,
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. I read them all.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what has it been like with the fan reaction and response from season 1 being here, this year?
Well, I think it gives the fans a little bit more safety to lean into a story, and I understand that. You want to know that you're going to be able to revisit that world and that it's not going to be taken away from you just when you fall in love.
There seems to be like a lot of hunger for this type of
It
genre.
is, and I've done a couple of cons where, unfortunately at this one we're so busy talking just to the press, but so much of the press here is fan-based, But I've done a couple of cons, and it really is that light in the dark room for a lot of people, and it's been so nice to see that I'm part of a story that isn't just about being popular, but actually gives that space that I took as a young person trying to find my place in the world from story, and knowing, hey, wow, I don't necessarily. That's all sorts of stories. I mean, reading Gandhi's biography was one of the most impactful things that I ever read. But so was Tolkien, and learning about moralism through that. And like, you read the Similarian, and you see like the whole evolution of. I'm getting really geeky now.
No,
you go through the Similarian, and you realize that it's all like events and cause and effect, and you realize, oh wait, I may be in the space I am because of things that had nothing to do with me. So maybe I'll go and write my own story.
That is truly deep, but it's so cool because normally we hear from actors and their craft about them, What does it take to inspire you? And now, it's not an actor, it's not a show, it's not a movie. It is actual literature. It's the grit of life and doing it on your own without belonging, which is really tough.
Well, honestly, I think that is what we're all here for.
Yeah.
We're in service to story. Story. I'm not here to serve Jason Lewis. I'm not even here to serve Joe. Joe's here to serve the story of Midnight Texas and whatever that story means. So I really am more fulfilled coming from that place. At the end of the day, working from that space, knowing that I'm getting to put a drop back in the bucket is kind of special.
Very good. Wow. Okay. I'm blown away. That's very nice. Yeah, it's a totally different angle that you hear from an actor. Really.
Say just nice things, positive things. Yeah, I listen. Everybody does things for their own purpose and different purposes, and that's all acceptable and valuable. But I really had a redirect for myself because I got into this stuff simply because I'm a fan of story, and so finding that lets me put my head on the pillow at night and feel fulfilled.
Especially after filming a show like this, you can actually put your head on the pillow.
Some nights I'm so keyed up I can't.
Wow.
I'm like, well, I just fought some demons. I gotta go.
Yeah, no, there's just no way. It's the type of show you have to watch with some daylight, and you just can't go. Yeah, you don't watch it from bed and then, oh no, I can go to sleep.
Yeah.
Oh no, I have PTSD from The Exorcist.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah.
So don't watch The Shining.
Oh no, that I watched once and done. Never ever again. But that's before ratings existed, so that's how old I am. But they took me to watch it when I was 12 years old. My parents, what were they thinking? So when I saw the scene with Francois and the spirit coming out of his mouth, and then
Oh, he does such a good job of embodying that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it looks painful as hell, doesn't
It does,
Yeah,
yeah.
He's killing it. He's
Yeah.
a damn fine actor.
so that just kind of like, what is happening? And then the floating, and then nope.
Oh, well, then you're going to be even more disturbed this
Yeah.
season.
Yeah, that's scarier too.
Yeah.
They were making it
Yeah. Yeah, it's...
Do they mean more like thriller or psychological scary, or
Both.
like jump scares?
Both. I think, like I said, we have a little bit more room to dive into what makes us tick. And so it gives you a little bit more of that psychological thriller room. The impending doom of these characters and whether they can thwart it. It's just good conflict writing. But come on, what's a supernatural show without a little bit of jump scare?
I'm surprised. I am the jumpiest person ever. I'm surprised I didn't.
There's just not enough caffeine in you.
Actually, I did not have any coffee today. And I
Oh,
don't
see,
know
that's
how
the
that happened.
Yeah, go get yourself jacked back up and I'll come back over.
Try again.
Try again. Oh my gosh.
Have you been to the con before, to this one?
I've been coming to San Diego Con for years,
Oh,
long
okay.
before I was here for a show.
So you've been on both sides.
Yeah, I've got some pretty good friends in the comic book world. Unfortunately, I'm only getting like glimpses of time with them here, but I love going through Artist Alley. I'll go through tomorrow morning and seeing, like, I've got prints all over my house where I use, like, my garage is a testament to the sketches.
Are you artistic? Do you draw?
I write.
You write? Okay.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't draw. Nobody's gonna buy anything I draw. It's,
So, what's your favorite fandom? What do you geek out
Yeah.
about the most? Like, what do you love? Marvel
honestly,
or another show?
I'm the type of person who doesn't like that question. In the sense that I made a determination a long time ago. I'll take the rainbow, not just one color.
Oh, okay.
So I
So you're
read
everything.
everything from, like I said, I love Tolkien, I love Poe growing up, I love Hemingway, I love fantasy and sci-fi. I just love a good story. I think one of the greatest stories ever told is Neil Gaiman's Sandman. So, I mean,
I'm so excited for the show.
I hope they do a good job with it. I mean, that is one of those really big, tough worlds to crack.
Yeah.
And damn, he does a good job of creating like American gods. I mean, the idea of gods being an aspect of worship, and so there's a Kali in India and a Kali here, and then Rode is a god.
So good.
Yeah.
Exploring those worlds are fantastic. So I'm that's exciting to hear that you love it.
Thank you.
But for you, the journey of your character in season 1, I'd like to get a sense of what you feel the evolution was and where it's sort of going in season 2.
Bam!
Bam! Just coming right in swinging.
Really easy.
Yeah. Well, season 1, we were learning about all the characters for the first time. So you have Olivia, and she's a badass, but she's very broken, and there's this tragic past that she's very secretive about, and then there's Lem and her relationship, and then there's a marriage. So now season 2, we dive deeper into married life. I think they're both learning to grow together, and how they're now a couple on a different level at midnight. And then that, of course, always spills into family, as it does, and what that means for Olivia's wounds and her family healing when it does come to her father and her past. And so it's a much more emotionally driven season. There's still a lot of action. There's still a lot of, but there's a lot of drama that you know, I feel like Olivia's pot is stirred, and what's interesting about it is now, for the first time ever, she has the choice to not go through it alone. She has a choice to go through it with Lem, but will she, can she? You know, that's a big question.
I have to say congratulations on season 2, and you look so good on season. Oh my gosh, made me want to go to the gym, sort of.
Wait, in season 2?
Season 1.
Oh, I was like, wow, thanks.
One of my favorite parts with your acting was the scene where you guys had a really big fight, like you went really bad and everything. Can you talk about that scene?
Yeah, we were just talking about that. That required a lot of training. I wanted to do all my own stunts, and it was a huge film day. Like we didn't wrap till like 2 a.m. The fight was like practically the whole day. Yeah, I mean, with the exception of the big wall throw, I did do all my own stunts that day. So that was very new for me and very fun. And Peter very graciously like helped train me for it because he's done a ton of stunts, and so that was really cool too.
Sorry, I gotta say this though, because she would never do it. But this girl works so hard. We would finish shooting on prior days, so training. I remember there were days I was wrapping around midnight or whatever, and I'd be leaving, and she had wrapped and was working out.
Wow, you made me feel
really went for it. So
congratulations!
It's pretty impressive what she put in there.
And midnight.
Yeah, midnight and midnight.
I didn't see that coming, and I said it.
So we've all heard about the new, the season 2 reveals, and that's in more ways than one. Apparently you're going to be revealing a little more.
Him. Oh. Let's be honest. Y'all want to see him with his shirt off. All right.
I don't.
Honey.
How do you train for that? How do you train for that? In front of the mirror?
No. And I only took my shirt off for my wife in the show. I mean, it's just, I'm in Albuquerque. I go to the gym.
Because there's nothing else to do.
There's not much else to do, and it's also part of it. But you know what? It's a lifestyle.
Cool.
No, it wasn't a complaint. It was just more of the, I had the time.
Yeah.
Will there be a vampire workout video coming up pretty soon?
That's hilarious.
That might just work.
You should partner with The Rock and make a video. That's hilarious.
That is hilarious. Your fans would go crazy for that. And speaking of your fans and fans of the show, what is one of the most, outrageous or, crazy thing you've heard or seen from a fan, either in real life or online, on social media, maybe here?
Well, we were doing an interview earlier today, and someone came up to the window and was doing a dance against the window, and then all of a sudden popped an umbrella. And,
what just happened?
I really wanted to videotape it, but I was so shocked I couldn't stop watching. And then she ran off in the middle of the interview, and then ran off. It was really remarkable.
You see, I had no idea that would happen.
I think she was kind of dressed as a Dr. Seuss, it or something. Yeah. She was red and blue.
A lapse in security here, so security.
A lot happened.
Okay,
Okay.
you guys.
It was really nice to meet you guys.
Thank you. And my back. Rush you through, right? Yes.
Tell us everything. Spoil everything.
Okay, go for it.
It began on day 1.
I don't know. Day one of season 2. Just tell us about that. Day 1 of season 2. What was the shocker? What did you do?
Which shocker? My goodness. I mean, I read the first scene that Dylan and I were going to do, and I turned all the shades of red. We have a very intimate relationship now. A very, very intimate relationship. Magically intimate. So in real life, there's this thing called sex magic, and it's the use of your energies in a sexual manner. And of course, Fiji's a witch, and so what do you think she's gonna do? She's spent her whole life not doing it, and now she can, and so she's doing it all the way. So I don't know if you guys have seen the teaser yet. There's a lot of me in it. Like, not time-wise, but just a lot of myself. It's out there for the world. God created me.
How do you deal with that? You know, it's going to be out there for everyone.
You just keep blushing and laughing and sweating. No, you know.
And at Thanksgiving, around the dinner table with the family, you just blush and.
You know, my uncle and his husband saw my cleavage once in something and were like, "You should have warned us." We were so shocked. So I'm gonna have to have a really deep talk with them right now. But it's, you know, the thing is, Midnight's core is love, and this is a thing that's happening between Bobo and Fiji. These people have been best friends for years. They have such an amazing bond. They just didn't know they could be together in any other capacity. So now that they do, it's this incredible sense of freedom and exploration that they have, and it's so sweet. Like really, really loving and fun, and it's like they both age regressed 10 years, and they're just like teenagers, and it's beautiful, but it's midnight. So, you know, and we know that Fiji has a history of terrible, tragic things happening around relationship, and we start to see suspicious things happening in this season to Bobo and putting him in harm's way, and Fiji's understandably terrified. So it's what we get to explore here is the experience of like, is this the same thing happening again? Is it not? And the reality is we're going to find out things about Fiji that Fiji doesn't even know. You know, season 1, Fiji knew who she was, but she hid it from herself and others. This year, she has no idea what's happening. I read the script, and I've heard about the outlines, and I was just like, what did you come up with? Whoa. Like, it's just really next level stuff that I haven't seen anywhere else, where they just really are allowing themselves, the writers, they're really allowing themselves to explore what it means to be human. You know, what the power of a soul is, and really identity. We keep coming back to that, but it's identity. Who is Fiji? Are you who you were born as, or are you who you make yourself? And that's going to be a very big part of this season. Yes. Okay. Can we do one more question?
Sure.
Okay. Does anybody have one more? Sorry, I just knew we didn't get much time.